Yes, thumbs up, massive thumbs up in this crypto winter, the Cardano depression. Why thumbs up? Because it's something refreshing. It's something refreshing to talk about. And that's what I'm just going to do here. I don't have this exactly well thought out, but I do want to break down this concept. Benjamin Cohen over here on Twitter, good chance ADA is about to enter the depression phase. I want to break it down, especially from my perspective on the charts that I have set up. And I want to say this right from the beginning. Benjamin Cohen, I have no issues with him at all. So before anyone out there in crypto land tries to pit him and I against each other, not happening. I think he's extremely bright. I think he's awesome for the crypto space. And I think he offers really valuable content. It's partly why I want to do this video about what he's saying. I think it really offers such a valuable perspective for Cardano holders. So let's do this. Remember last cycle, ADA bottomed only 2 months before the halving. It also spent the second half of 2019 going down. I want to talk about these two things. I think they're extremely important. And before we even talk about the depression phase, the potential leg down for Cardano, the zoomed out, what's going on in this Cardano cycle, I want to make a point. I get looked at very often as a Cardano bull, and that's fine because I am. But I just want to throw this reminder out there. I'm a macro Cardano bull. I have not been oblivious to the fact that we've been in a bear market, this entire bear market, though I've been a Cardano bull, accumulating, staking, building, learning about the ecosystem, taking part in Cardano DeFi. Though I have been that bull on the macro because I have a longer term vision, this entire bear market, this was over a year ago. This is last June. We've been tracking targets to the downside. We've been anticipating legs down. We've not been oblivious to that. And I just want to say that. I'm not this Cardano bull that's just like, we're going up. I have not been like that at all. Here's also almost a year ago, 10 months ago. This is crazy to think, 33 cents around a year ago. We're not that much lower. And the volatility in the last year almost has been crazy. But check this out. Target to the downside, 26 cents on the screen. We've not been oblivious to the fact that Cardano and crypto is in a bear market, and that means leg down after leg down. Have we tracked potential support and bounces? Absolutely. But needless to say, check it out. This is what happened out of that triangle that we just saw, 24 cents. And then we're boom right back up to 46 cents. The volatility is crazy. I just want to say that before I get those comments. You know, you've been such a bull through this whole bear market, but that's not true. I've been a bull, but I've been a realistic bull. We're in a bear market, and I realize how altcoins are more volatile to the downside. Let's talk about this. Good chance ADA is about to enter the depression phase. So depression phase, I want to say this, is subjective, right? There are people out there in Cardano ecosystem, and I just want to get this off my chest because it's true, and this is what's happening. There are people in the Cardano ecosystem that kind of like me have known we're going to be seeing a lot of downside, but have also been tracking the ecosystem as a whole. The projects launching, 1,000+% gains on their ADA in Cardano DeFi. That's a whole nother perspective, right? That's a whole nother piece of opportunity in a bear market if people are going to choose to hold their ADA. Now, the depression phase, this is where things get, this is why I want to dig in this video. So on his chart, you can see depression phase, meaning we're going lower. I believe he said, if you're trying to squint to see where I drew the squiggle on the first chart, you should not bother. He drew a random line. I have no idea where the bottom is. Now, he also brought up the ADA BTC chart, which I want to go over. So let's dig into these things. First things first, on the zoomed out, I think it's extremely notable to just realize where we are in the cycles in terms of Cardano. Cardano, all-time high, above $3, trickling down into this red rectangle, which is just a visualization tool to show us where we are in this cycle comparative to last cycle. So last cycle at this time is like October 2019. That's kind of where we are, right? And first things first, let's agree with Benjamin on some things. First thing to agree on is, as we've been tracking these red rectangles, there's no doubt ADA could actually go lower, right? We've identified that. ADA could trickle down lower, sub 20 cents maybe. Now, if you look at the time frame of that last red box, let's just open up a time frame and look at this. From the beginning of the red box to the end of the red box, it's like a little over 100 days, right? And then we're basically a month in or so. So 70 days left, maybe, right, of this. Let's see how many days left of this red box, this part of the cycle. 77 days. So that is to say, 2.5 months, there could be downside. Could this be the depression phase that Benjamin is talking about? Possibly. However, this is what I really wanted to dig into. I think he might be kind of talking more broadly, not only about this red box, but potentially just the rest of this entire time frame before the next halving. That could be the depression phase. And that's kind of where I start to disagree slightly. I put this red box here for a reason because ADA, yes, it did kind of just fall. But notice what happened with ADA. It eventually, after being pulled into the 20-week moving average, it eventually broke above the 20, tested the 50, and we started getting a very nice move to the upside, right? So back then, this could be kind of depression, this entire move. Man, that's depressing. But then it popped to the upside. And then something happened, which was COVID, and it threw all of crypto off. I always wonder, not just with Cardano, but in crypto in general, this move to the upside, and check out the price range on this from that swing low to the swing high. It's over 100% move. That move could be 70 some days away before it starts happening, right? That is very close considering the bear market that we just went into. And if you just, let's say we hit 20 cents and then ADA is going to start making that move to the upside, right? And then we're back above 40 cents all of a sudden outside of this red box. We're breaking these key moving averages that we have here, the 20-week moving average, the 50-week moving average. Maybe we pull up to those areas first. We're hitting 30 cents, rejection, and then we're hitting this new swing low. And all the while, you better believe it, we'll be tracking the RSI on Cardano right now. Even if you just look at Cardano in that last cycle where we were at this last cycle comparative to now, we are at a very similar area in terms of RSI consolidation on the weekly, right? So I think what I'm saying is two things. Number one, I agree with Benjamin that I think in the short to midterm, over the next couple of months, we could see Cardano fall lower. A lot of that will have to do with the macroeconomic aspect of things, what Bitcoin is doing, what crypto in general is doing, right? If crypto is going lower, ADA is going lower too with it. Maybe more volatile, maybe it holds up stronger. But the other thing is this, with this being said, I can't focus so much on, what's going to happen here. Because in my opinion, the worst has happened and we've tracked it. We've tracked leg down after leg down. We've tracked resistance after failure after failure. SEC, we've held up against so much. I saw Ada Whale did a thread about this, holding up amidst all of these, I think he mentioned a couple of really big events. Ada's holding up. It's at around 26 cents right now at this time of the cycle. Last cycle, it was at around 3 cents. We're in a different environment. So I tend to be a little bit more just bullish, I guess you could say, seeing the longer term picture. Yeah, there's some downside obviously in play for all of crypto. ADA is a part of that. It could be a very depressing phase for ADA, but if ADA does bottom out soon in the next couple of months, 2 to 3 months, and then we exit this red and we get a similar move to last time, and then there is no black swan event that's bringing ADA and crypto lower, what happens? And I really want to just introduce you to this chart. This is the ADA BTC chart. And I really want to make a point here because he did mention this chart on his tweet, right? So you can see he has ADA breaking lower. It is 100% in play. I don't want to sit here and say it's not. But this one other thing from my opinion is just the very fact that if you go look at the ADA BTC chart, and again, I have a red box here to illustrate where we are from a time frame perspective, right? So this is the Bitcoin halving. This is the Bitcoin halving back here. Right now, you can see ADA from when it entered the box last cycle to where it is right now, it is well above where it was last time. What that demonstrates is the very fact that, yes, ADA is down against BTC in this cycle, But as we've seen on the Bitcoin dominance chart as well, Bitcoin dominance, not as dominant this cycle around against an altcoin like ADA, right? So if we're looking at this from a price range perspective, from this time last cycle, right around here, we can take this low back here in 2019 to where we are right now. ADA is almost 150% higher than it was, right? And there's going to be people that are like, Dan, it doesn't really matter because ADA is down 84% against Bitcoin from the bull market high. And again, it's subjective. It's how you look at it. Again, we've known going into this bear market, altcoins are going to fall along with Bitcoin at a more just aggressive rate, right? We know that. And during that story of it happening over the last couple of years, we all plan accordingly. We all make our own decisions, right? Some people like to move from altcoins to Bitcoin, right? To anticipate the bear market. Others like to just hold their ADA, stake their ADA, accumulate their ADA with fiat they have coming in, accumulating ADA, preparing, buying swing lows on the way down, getting into DeFi, stacking their ADA gains because of just really nice moves and plays in the DeFi space, all these new coins launching on ADA, on Cardano. It's all subjective. This is all how you want to play this game, right? The data is there, and from that data, we all make our own unique decisions. But I can't help but just notice the fact that, you know, Benjamin over here, and rightfully so, it's in play. I'm not saying this isn't going to happen. You can see he's basically saying this trend line is going to break. But the one thing that stands out to me is the timeline perspective of this trend line, right? This low back here is at the same time frame of where we are right now. And that's not to say it is definitely bottoming here, but there's a strong chance that it could. And we don't go lower, right? And that is to say we get a similar bottom structure like we got that last cycle, and we start getting that bottom structure now. Now, is it guaranteed? No. There are so many things that play into this, especially I think right off the bat, I think of things like the Coinbase SEC case over the next just couple of months. News that comes out in regards to that, a win, a loss for altcoins such as ADA that were named in the case, that really plays a huge deal in what happens next. There are a lot of outside influences that will move these ADA charts one way or the other, and we have to keep those things in mind. But to say that a breakdown like we got here, right, earlier in the last bear cycle is going to happen right now, later in this bear cycle, that could be wrong, right? We know it could happen. I'm not saying it won't happen, or it definitely won't happen, but time frame perspective, I'm more interested if we take our bars pattern of seeing how similar we get of a move from the last cycle from where we are right now. So we take that last red box, we place it kind of right here, and this is what we're looking at. What kind of consolidation do we get for ADA, right? On this ADA BTC pair. Very sideways. And the same thing on this ADA USD. Let me clean this up a little bit, but check this out. If we do the same thing, we take our bars pattern on ADA USD from the red box to that swing high before COVID. Let's bring it over. Red box, start of the red box, and check it out. Not perfect, not going to be identical, right? That would be too ridiculous. Too good to be true, but check it out. You can just see, maybe it's more volatile downside, hitting 20 cents. Maybe it's going lower to 20 cents. I believe on this chart, and I don't know if he's saying it's a target exactly. I think he mentioned he's not, but this looks like 10 to 13 cents or something. So it's in play for ADA to go lower. It's ridiculous not to think it is, but how we look at that, again, that's subjective. Everybody is different. Benjamin is very big from the content that I've seen on Bitcoin and bear markets to really just preserve your crypto holdings, right? And that's fine. It's a great play. That's a smart play, and it works for some people's macro plan, right? But that is not to say that a different approach in terms of altcoins, in this case ADA, is the wrong play, right? And for me, I'm obviously an ADA bull, and that's me saying that. But I really appreciate that content that he's putting out there in relation to ADA, namely because I've been tracking this bear market, just like we tracked the last bull market, and we're going to track the next bull market. But it's very nice and refreshing just to get other angles outside of just Cardano bulls, right? And Benjamin's probably a Cardano bull on the long term, right? I think this is more in relation to short to midterm, but I really just wanted to touch on a lot of this content that he put out there because there are other things on the charts that I see happening at the same time that Cardano is showing a lot of strength with. And so the depression, I think if we're going to name a depression, I really think the depression has really just been like the last year, right? Really illustrative of that is just the fact that this was over a year ago. ADA's 49 cents. This was almost a year ago. This was what was this? This was last October, 33 cents. ADA has done like nothing in the last year and it's been very just choppy and sideways. That's a long-term type of depression, and crypto in general has really delivered that for everybody. But this red rectangle that I have here, the next couple of months, we really could start seeing Cardano bottom. And I think that's opposite of a depression. I think the worst is coming to an end sooner than later as we approach the next Bitcoin halving. And I wanted to just put some of those thoughts out there respectfully. And I say it all humbly because at the end of the day, everybody, just like I always say, no one knows what's going to happen, right? I just, as a value investor in Cardano, I know my approach to these markets, and this is just what I see. Let me know your comments in the comments below, what you think in terms of Cardano and where we are in this cycle. And if you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe, hit that like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.